Hi, I am Mac. Welcome to the Mac Academy. So far, we have only gone through automation projects in Python language. We have built JARVIS and WhatsApp bot. But now, we are going to discuss another serious aspect of programming, which is encryption. We will discuss the encryption methods, or you can say how to implement a password to your applications or to your files using Python. It can be done by just adding a few extra lines in your code. In this video, we will discuss 3 different approaches to create password using Python in different apps. But before we start the video, there is just a small request that if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, then hit the subscribe button below and turn the bell notifications on so that you don't miss any update regarding the future content. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And if you haven't already learned how to build JARVIS AI, you can watch the complete course from the link given in the description or from the I button above. So without any further ado, let's start the video. First of all, I will just create a new file in my VS Code and save it as password test01 with extension py for Python language. And now I will be going for a much simpler approach first. But before I start working on that, I have to define my code here, which I basically want my program to do. And then later on, I will add a password to it. So I will just type a small code by using print function with hello world as input. And in the next line, I will type print password test1. Now, if I run my code to ensure if it is working correctly or not, it is working fine. Now I can move to the next part, which is encryption. So for it, first I have to define a new variable here, where I can store my original password. The password I want the computer to understand as the correct version of the password. So I will create a variable here and name it my password. And here I will include my password in quotation marks. And my password will be something like Mac_Academy. Now my original password has been saved in my password variable. So now I will create an input function here so that every time the program runs, it asks the user for the password. So I will just create a new variable here, password, make it equal to input with a string, tell me the password. Each time the program executes now, it will ask, tell me the password. Now, if I run it to see if it works or not, it is asking me for my password, so I will just type my correct password here, Mac_Academy, and hit enter. See, it executes the next line of code, which is my original program. But if I run it again and type any other password like Mac Academia or Mac Academy without underscore, it again executes the next lines of code. It doesn't differentiate between correct and incorrect passwords. Thus, now we have to deal with this problem. So I will close my terminal and in my code I will write if password is equal to my password. Password is the variable where the user will store the input and my password is where the original password is stored. So if condition is set here, if my password is equal to the password variable value, then it will execute this. But for it to execute, first I have to align it accordingly. So I will just copy it from here and paste it in a line. Now if I run it, it is asking for password. I will just provide it password Mac Academy, hit enter. It is working. But now if I provide incorrect password without underscore, it doesn't work. It just exits the program. Whenever I provide the incorrect password, it just ignores the if part, the lines which are written inside the if statement. Now, I will just modify it with else command. If this is not true, then do this. Means if condition is not met, then it will do this. So I will just type else print, and next in it I will type the wrong password so that the user knows that the password he typed is incorrect. I will just add quotation marks here. I will just add a new line here, print, and as an input I will type seems like you are an imposter. So to give it more like a real feel, hey, you are an imposter. Seems like this. So I will just add a last line here in print. It could be something like get lost or get away. Now when I run it, it is again asking for password. I will just provide my correct version here. And now for the incorrect version, I will again run the program and provide any other password. You can see that it is now executing the lines in the else statement which are wrong password, seems like you are an imposter, get lost. Now it is just executing the lines only once. Like no matter if I provide correct or incorrect password, it just executes the next lines and quit. But if I want it to execute again and again, like always executing the lines, so I will move these lines of code inside a main function. And in main function, I will create a while loop so that it keeps on executing again and again. To accomplish this, I will go to the top of my code and write a main function here. I will create a while loop here, while true, so that it keeps on executing for infinity. And now I will move all of these lines inside the while loop and align them accordingly. Now if I save it and run it, you will see that it will keep on executing for infinity even if the password I provide is wrong, right. It will keep on executing again and again. This is called a while loop. Add hashes to these two lines so that the program does not execute these lines. Type print try again, so that if a user types wrong password, then it must show that he has been asked to try again so that he can type the correct password. Now if I will save it and hit run, it is asking me for my password, so I will type wrong password like Mac Academia. It is showing me the else statements, wrong password, try again. Now I will just type any other wrong password like Mac. It is showing the same message. It is showing this message again and again. Now if I type correct password, it will just show the if statements, but it will not end because it is in an infinity loop. Even after the correct password is provided, it just executes the lines given in the if statement, but the program does not end. It will only end if someone closes this program manually. To address this problem, I will just close my terminal and add a new line here in if loop after the print statements. Quit. Those of you who don't know, quit is a pre-built function in Python to quit the program, to get out of a program so that you don't have to close it yourself. If you want it to end after a certain condition is met, you can just add this function there and it will automatically close the program. This is an important function if you want to automate tasks using Python. So now, if I run the program after saving it, it is asking me for input. And if I provide correct password here, it closed the program after executing the lines. See, it is just saying hello world, Mac Academy, and it ends there. So now, I will go for the more short approach, like doing the same thing but in a shorter way. So for that, I will just delete these lines and delete the while loop. And after the password input function, I will just create a while loop, and this time it will not be while true because I don't want infinity approach now. It will be more of like while password not equal to my password. It means that until this condition is true and the password is not equal to my password's value, it will keep on doing so and so before moving further down. Now, I will just go to the bottom of my code and add my main function there. The main thing I want it to do after the correct password is entered will go there. So I will just have something like print welcome Mac. And now I will go into my while loop and type some condition here, like if password is not equal to my password. Then first I want the user to know that the password he typed is incorrect. So for that I will print wrong password. And afterwards I want to encourage the user to type the password again. So I will use print function here and add try again string as input. The last thing here is it must ask the user again for the password and take an input, so I can just call the exact same line from above here. But I will just change input in input function from tell me the password to just password. I will just save it and run it now to see if it is working correctly or not. It is asking me for password, so I will just provide any password here. I will type something incorrect like Mac. You can see that it is saying wrong password, try again. Now I will keep on doing so as long as I provide the incorrect password. But if I want to close this program, I have to provide the correct password, which is Mac_Academy. So as soon as the correct password is identified, it executes the next line. It says welcome Mac and then it quits. Now we don't have any need for the quit function in this program. This code will automatically quit when it reaches its end because it is not an infinity loop. This is just a simple while loop case with condition. So now the next thing is to implement these lines in another application. In an application which has more lines of code. So for that, I will be using JARVIS AI, which I have created in the previous videos. So before we go for that, just a little reminder, if you haven't already checked out my videos on how to build your JARVIS AI, you can watch those videos from the link in the description. I think that's enough for the self-advertisement for today. Coming back to today's topic, I have opened JARVIS app in my VS Code and I will now implement this password function in JARVIS. For this, I will come below in my code, just below my main function, and here I will just add a few spaces because I am going to implement my password function here. Now I will go into my password code file, which I have right here, and just copy these 5 lines from here and paste it in my JARVIS code. And now the last thing I have to do is just setting them accordingly. Seems like perfect. Now if I run it, it will do the exact same thing we want it to do, which is it will first ask the user to enter the password. If the password is identified as correct, then it will execute the Jarvis function. But if the password is incorrect, it will keep on asking the user for password again and again till someone closes the function or provides the correct password. Now there is another feature that we can add to it. It will be something like adding an extra feature to security, just like in the mobile phones, where you can add a limit on trying. You can add a trying limit, like if you want it to ask 3 times for a password if wrong password is used, and if wrong password is provided for more than 3 times, it will quit the program. To apply that technique in Jarvis, I will just add a new variable I here. This variable is just for iteration purpose, so I will just add it here and take it equal to 0, because I want its value to increase by 1 every time the user types wrong password. So now I will go in my while loop and just under print function and will type I is equal to I plus 1. So that after reading these 2 lines, it increases the value of I by 1. So now I have to add a warning like when I want it to quit. For this, I will add a new if-else statement here, which we will like if I is greater than equal to something. It totally depends upon you how much tries you want to give the user for free. So I will type if I is greater than or equal to 2. Print something like, or wait a minute, this is JARVIS AI. So we can just add speak function here, which is already defined in the code. I will type speak seems like you are an imposter, and then call the quit function to exit the program if the warning limit is reached. Let me just add a little comment here, warning, to remind me that this is the warning section in the password. Before running it, I will just change all of these print functions to speak function, so that each time it asks for it, it asks verbally, not just printing the question. So if you wanted to ask the question, tell me the password too, then you can just add a speak function above the input password line, just here. So I will just type speak password, or the same line, tell me the password. All is done here. So now I will just save it and hit run to see if it works or not. It is executing. It has cleared all the lines you have due to the clear function. So now it will ask me for my password.
Tell me the password.
So I will just provide a wrong password here.
Wrong password.
So
Try
as
again.
long as I provide the wrong password,
Password.
it will keep on
Try
calling
again.
me the same lines. And when I reach 3 times limit, it will
Seems like
speak
you are an
the
imposter.
warning message and call me an imposter. So it is working. Now if I
Tell me the
again run
password.
it and try the correct version of password, which is Mac Academy, it will run the original
Welcome
Jarvis
back, Mac.
program.
The current time is 10 hours 6 minutes and 18 seconds. 10 hours 6 minutes and 23 seconds. The current date is 16/9/2020. Good morning, sir. Jarvis at your service. Please tell me, how can I help you?
You can get the Jarvis source code from the link in the description, which is a link of my GitHub repository. So now I will just close this program by pressing Ctrl+C. That's it from this video. I hope you like this video. If you do, then give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And you can ask your questions in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any updates. And do comment if you have any suggestions. Till next time, happy learning.